Okay, so welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be working on the handles for this John boat build, and I have these, I think they're aluminum handles that are on the boat. I say that because I'm not 100% sure because they're rusted, and I assume aluminum rusts. I'm not sure. Let me know if you know. If you know, they're not magnetic, so I think it is aluminum, but I need to replace them, and the holes are not standard, I don't think. These things are pretty old, and so so I've been trying to find the replacements, and I didn't see any, especially for aluminum ones. So I think we're going to repair the old ones. So I have two different sizes. The front and the back had these smaller ones that are eaten up pretty good, and then the sides had these bigger ones. So today we're gonna I think the plan is we're gonna sand them. Sand all this like residual paint off of them. Then I'm gonna put try to eat the rust off of the whatever's left from the sanding with this Epoxy, and then rinse that off and then paint them. Well, I think actually filling in the holes. I think I have an idea, and it'll be a little bit later in the video of how I'm gonna kind of fill in the gaps with this rust flaking off. So anyway, so this is my idea for fixing these. Let me know if you have something any different. I'm also going to be getting some different screws because I think they used steel screws when whoever put this in, and this is all, I don't know if you can see, it's all eroded away. So I'm going to try to get some aluminum screws maybe for that as well. So we're going to get started. I got my kids here. We're about to have a sanding party. They're super enthused. Okay, so here we are finished with all of the handles. So the sanding party didn't last too long. Turns out kids don't like to sand paint, so it's pretty boring. But I actually got a little bit more on that one to go. But you see how they cleaned up pretty good, and you can see the difference in some of these. Like this one looks pretty solid. It has a little bit of pitting, but this one, you can see through it, so it's quite damaged. So we're just going to clean this up and clean all the little rust off. I've sanded it so it's not, it's not sharp or anything. Then we're going to end up filling this with some stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and immerse it in this Epoxy stuff. And I've used this before, and it's pretty awesome. So I'm going to just, keep my McDonald's large cups and use them to kind of, immerse the handles in it. So we're going to go ahead and start doing this. And I think I'm going to let it sit for about an hour or so, and then maybe a little more than that, and then come back and check on them. That's what the directions say, 1 to 12 hours. So we'll see how these turn out. But anyway, so let's get started using this Epoxy stuff. Okay, so it's been about 4 hours or so, 3-4 hours. So let's take a look at this. Yeah, it looks pretty good here, this one. Kind of highlights the paint that I still have to grind off or sand off. But see, it got the I think it did a good job getting the rust off. We'll just have to hose this down now. Alright, so I let these handles dry for a day just so there wasn't any residual water pooled in here. And so what I'm planning to do is use this JB Weld Waterweld material, and it's epoxy putty. And I've actually used this for a job at work, not the Waterweld variety, but epoxy putty in general, where we were adhering survey prisms to buildings. And, so it was a metal prism to like a concrete building, and, we formed this putty up and glued them together, and they lasted for, a year and a half until we removed them. And it came off the brick kind of with some force, but it never really came off the prism. It would need like a chisel and hammer if you wanted to get it off the metal there. So I think it works pretty well. It hardens like a rock. So my plan is to just cut a little sliver of this and knead it together to activate it, and then you kind of stuff it down into the back of the handles here because it's kind of more open in the back. Fill it up. And I actually may need more of this, but fill this up and use this just kind of a junk flathead screwdriver to push it in there. So anyway, that's the plan. We'll see how it goes. Well, all right, well, there's the first one. It's not super pretty, but when this hardens, I'm just going to sand it. Again, it hardens pretty hard, so it'll be sandable, should be. So we're going to just sand that in and then see what it looks like afterwards. All right, well, it's been a day since I let this harden, and it says about an hour, and it really does harden up in about an hour. And so what I do now is I just take this sandpaper, this is 120 grit, and I just kind of sand the rough edges. It's pretty rough after you get that in there. It's hard to smooth it because it just sticks to everything, but it is pretty hard. This is the one that had the hole kind of through both sides, where it was through the top and the bottom, and it's not going anywhere with this screwdriver. It doesn't even, like, it gouges the wood where I missed more than this stuff. So so really, yeah, the next step is just to sand this stuff. I've already got a few done. You probably can't tell that that's nice and smooth in there, but now after I sand it, I'm going to go ahead and take it and paint it. And so we're going to be using some primer. You probably don't need this, but I have it, so might as well. This is some primer that I have, and then I'm going to use this Rust-Oleum High Performance enamel after that primer. I actually use this on my camper. If you saw those camper videos I did, this was for the frame underneath the camper. Sprayed it with this stuff, and it's still holding up strong. And it was pretty rusty before, and so none of that has really bled through. So anyway, so we're going to start sanding this down and then spray painting it with these, and then I'll show you kind of the finished product. All right, guys, so this is the finished product here. These are all of the handles with repaired with that putty, plus the primer and 2 coats of that enamel. And it looks pretty good. I mean, if you look real close, you could tell that it's kind of bumpy, like right here, but it's, better than a hole through it for sure. If I really wanted to, I guess you could put like some Bondo or something and then sand it down just to get it real smooth. That putty is, unless you put it on, like, oversize it and sand it down, I probably could have done something like that actually, but just wasn't thinking ahead enough, I guess. So know that on the next time. So most of them look pretty good. I don't know, you can't really tell. I mean, if you know what you're looking at, you could probably tell, but sitting there on the boat, and I don't think it'll be a big deal. So this is a nice little project, saved me some money. That epoxy is about $7 a piece, and then I had the paint and everything, so nothing. I didn't have to buy 8 new handles for the boat. So anyway, I hope this helps you out in your project if you're having to repair some old handles like this. So now we're just gotta, I'm gonna buy some new screws. I think these are kind of done, and then reattach them. So appreciate you sticking around for this video. See you on the next one.